Welcome in or welcome back, dear readers, to the Veiled Archive. Have you ever questioned whether your very existence is a grotesque experiment? Today we're delving into a book that will make you rethink everything you understood about time and consciousness. This is not a story for those seeking comfort, but for those who want to peel back the curtain on a reality that feels fundamentally wrong. This is Amphitheater of the Gods, a cerebral reckoning that offers not hope, but a dark, disturbing clarity that is strangely liberating. Amphitheater of the Gods is a metaphysical and philosophical journey through the quantum architecture of being itself. It is not a story of salvation, but of revelation, a deep dive into the terrifying mechanics of reality. The plot is viewed through the haunted eyes of Peter. Peter witnesses a theater of horrors where beings disguised as plants, animals, and humans unknowingly perform in an eternal tournament for the entertainment of transcendent godlike beings. The conflict is driven by the mysterious switchers, who are sky cleaners of a contaminated world cell. They initiate a brutal reset of a universe that even the gods wish to abandon. The narrative is filled with revelations that challenge the foundations of science, religion, and consciousness studies, presenting a deterministic universe where every being plays a role in a tragedy scripted before the dawn of time. What sets this book apart? High concept and genre-defying. This novel goes beyond surface-level science fiction. It's a cerebral and imaginative work, a philosophical expedition that weaves together philosophy, speculative fiction, and cosmic mystery into a singular experience. A radical philosophical lens. The book offers a new lens on the illusion of free will and the prescripted nature of existence. It challenges readers to think beyond time, identity, and morality. The horror comes from its unflinching examination of disturbing truths and the idea that consciousness is not a blessing. Intense and poetic prose. The writing style is consistently praised as a major highlight. The prose is described as raw, poetic force, dense, layered, and deliberate, and it is said to be like reading a philosophical text wrapped in a sci-fi shell. It is noted for its ability to be intense and thought-provoking, inviting reflection that lingers long after the final page. Unforgettable impact. The book is not for readers seeking comfort or a conventional happy ending. It offers dark, disturbing clarity that feels oddly liberating. The haunting imagery and bold ideas make it an unforgettable journey. How have readers reacted and responded? A profound reading experience. Customers describe the book as thought-provoking and a mind-bending journey. One reviewer stated it left them staring at paragraphs in awe and occasionally dread, while another felt it was a philosophical powerhouse. Praise for writing and pacing. Readers found the writing brilliant and intense, and praised how it keeps the narrative engaging throughout. One review highlights the book's readability, which manages to make complex topics accessible and ensure the reader is certainly not bored. A different kind of read. Several reviews note that this book is a different type of book and not a typical sci-fi story with spaceships and laser battles. The concepts are described as intricate, but the author is praised for mastering an engaging narrative despite the complexity. Some readers admit it is not their typical genre, but can still appreciate the quality of the text and the author's passion. Lingering effects. The book is said to stick with readers long after the final page. It provides revelations that may stick with you long after the final page and encourages contemplation about a grand and at times cruel experiment of existence. And then my personal review. This is a cerebral and imaginative work that fearlessly ventures beyond the typical conventions of the science fiction genre, offering a deep and unsettling exploration of reality, consciousness, and our place in the universe. The narrative eschews spaceships and laser battles for a far more compelling journey, one that challenges the reader to contemplate a grand and at times cruel experiment of existence. The author's writing is a major highlight. characterized by a dense, almost poetic style that elevates the story into a philosophical text. The prose is captivating, drawing the reader into a fascinating and complex world of ideas that linger long after the final page is turned. While the concepts are intricate, the author masterfully maintains an engaging narrative. This book provides a dark and disturbing clarity rather than a conventional happy ending, a quality that is both powerful and strangely liberating. For readers who seek a thought provoking, 5-star experience that challenges and deeply impresses, this work is a highly recommended and refreshing entry into the genre. The strength of this book is the high concept ideas and its bold, poetic writing style. This is not a novel that gets under your skin because of jump scares or tense plot. It's because its ideas are genuinely unsettling. It's a book that demands and rewards intellectual engagement, offering a dark, disturbing clarity that I personally find liberating. The novel's focus on a metaphysical tournament and the idea of human existence as a cruel experiment places it firmly in the most cerebral corner of cosmic horror. It's a work that values revelation over salvation, suggesting that true freedom comes not from escape, but from an unflinching awareness of your own predetermined role in a vast cosmic tragedy. Amphitheater of the Gods operates on a level that defies conventional genre boundaries. This is a work of pure idea where the terror emerges not from a physical threat, but from the psychological and metaphysical implications of the universe. The book's power lies in its ability to instill a cerebral reckoning, forcing you to confront an existence that is a cosmic accident. For similar books, I would lean heavily toward H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness. As a foundational text, it embodies the idea of a non-human, ancient terror that reveals the terrifying insignificance of humanity in the grand scheme of the universe. And then Robert W. Chambers' The King in Yellow. This collection is connected by a fictional play that drives those who read it to madness. It's a powerful example of a narrative that directly affects the reader's mind, much like the idea of Amphitheater of the Gods being a metaphysical descent. For visual reference, you might relate this book to a few key films. 2001: A Space Odyssey. While it's not a horror film, many people consider it a cosmic horror film due to its bleak and nihilistic themes. It perfectly conveys the book's core idea that more intelligent life forms could toy with the human race, and that humanity is insignificant. The Endless is a film about two brothers who return to a UFO death cult. It's an excellent visual parallel for the book's themes of predetermination and the horror of being trapped in a cycle you cannot escape. In the Mouth of Madness is a movie about a true horror writer whose works have a transformative effect on reality itself. It's a perfect way to explain the book's ability to leave you with existential vertigo. And finally, The Empty Man. This film is a cosmic odyssey, with genuinely terrifying moments and plenty of existential dread. It's a strong parallel for the kind of horror that is psychological rather than physical. And just my reaction to it. This book is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It is absolutely in my wheelhouse, though. The work that I do is almost all sci-fi centric, but I try to stay away from the overused tropes as well. Like, it's not about spaceships and battles. It's about understanding or trying to understand what can't be known. For a lot of people, it's too much in their reading. They don't want that kind of entertainment, and I get it. I mean, I'm there too sometimes. I just don't want to think about what I'm reading that much. But when I write, I absolutely want that kind of escape just for myself, and I know that I'm not alone in the reader quadrant of that either. This is the kind of book that makes you wonder why you even bother paying your bills. I mean, it can leave you, it's unsettling enough to think of insignificance in that way. But really, we only know what we know, and that's what cosmic horror is all about. It's trying to wrap your mind around something that can't be known. Not that we don't try, but we here on Earth are only bound by the laws in physics that we've discovered here. Now, we can postulate and guess what might be beyond our system, but we're applying what we've learned here to that, if that makes sense. At any rate, I don't want to get too far off topic. I mean, it's not really off topic, I suppose, but it can get that way, and I don't want to get into that here because that's what the book's all about. If you are really into those kind of profound journeys, then this book is definitely going to be for you. I love stuff that makes you really think about existence. Not so much on the theological aspect of things, although this book does that as well. It's more about what else could there be that we just can't even grasp the notion of. And that's really the bottom line, or that's really what cosmic horror is all about. Jump scares, possessions, things that you normally find in horror writing, horror movies. We think we have paranormal labels for them, and there might be reasons behind them, but they're earthbound reasons. A good cosmic horror element would be what happens if the sun blows up. Like, what do? You could certainly be afraid of impending doom, but there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. None of us could. And that's probably the best way to describe cosmic horror, in my opinion. And there's certain subgenres and absolutely all kinds of ways we could take this or that particular genre of horror, or even sci-fi. And it's really what this channel is all about, is not so much to meld the two, but just to point out that there's insane examples of unfathomable horror in a lot of our sci-fi too. And that sci-fi doesn't necessarily have to be outside Earth's atmosphere. Sometimes it's on or under the planet. At any rate, they get way off topic here, but I'm not going to do that. That's just my 2 cents on the book itself. It's got a lot of great reviews. And another thing that I did want to touch on is dense writing. For a lot of people, that is a turnoff, and this book is described as such. Now, what that means is it's going to take you a few reads to really understand it, and that's why I will continually bring up my favorite author is Frank Herbert, and my first read through his Dune novel, I had no idea what was going on, but granted, I was pretty young too. But those are the types of books that I like to read, and it's not going to be for everyone, like I mentioned earlier. Some people just want the simple entertainment value out of their books. I tend to go the other way. I want something that's going to make me think about what I just read for the next 3 weeks. And this is that book. That'll wrap up our review for Amphitheater of the Gods. So the next time, What if the places we go to find solace are the very places where we're most vulnerable? What if the serene, quiet halls of a museum are actually filled with screaming ghosts? Next on the channel, we're diving into Victoria Williamson's chilling short story, The Screaming Room, a story that puts a terrifying twist on childhood wonder. Before we head out, please consider a like and subscribe. It helps to get this channel out to the people that are looking for it. I appreciate it.